Hello everyone, and welcome to the explanation video that I promised a few weeks ago. So essentially, there was that live stream that we were doing with Bane and Gull for the Old Republic, where I sort of took a call and then had to leave the stream, and then there was also a few episodes of the Clone Wars where I had to leave because of a phone call, and also I think I mentioned it at the start of the pedestal alignment videos, but I never fully explained what was going on. So essentially what happened was, at the end of 2015, my mom was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. And all through 2016, she was going through treatment for that. And so at around September, we thought it was gone. But she was still having this really weird cough for a few months. So in early January, the doctors finally took her in for another CT scan. And what we found out was that the cancer had actually spread to most of her bones and her lungs as well. So the call that I'd gotten during that first stream was essentially to tell me that, and then the phone calls that I was making during the Clone Wars videos. My sister had been out of town for a wedding in Mexico, or out of the country. She'd been in Mexico for a wedding, and so when she got home, I was calling her. But essentially, what we've found out from the doctors is that any treatment that she does is essentially just to relieve the symptoms. It's not curable. So my mom's attitude is essentially just, with whatever time she has left, we're going to have as much fun as we can as a family, with all our friends, with everyone's coming down to see them. So we don't know if that's going to be weeks, months, years. We really don't know how she's going to respond to treatment yet. So, and as everyone knows, chemo is not a fun thing in the best of times anyways. So I've actually come down from Ottawa, which is where I've lived for the last 7 years or so. That's where I went to school. And I've come back to the Niagara region, which is where my family's from. So I'm going to be staying with my parents for essentially an indefinite period of time. I'm trying to get rid of my apartment in Ottawa right now, and then at some point I'm going to go up. I'm going to grab the rest of my stuff, and I might look for an apartment down here. I might end up looking or keeping my apartment in Ottawa. I really don't know what's going on right now as far as long term. So my plan in the short term is just to essentially treat the mod in the channel as a full-time job. I'm not going to be looking for a job down in Niagara. I could really, if you don't know where you're going to be living, people aren't super enthusiastic about hiring people who don't know what city they're going to live in within the next 3 months. I also don't have a car, so it's not really a thing where I can get a job anywhere and know that I'm going to be able to get there. So it also allows me to determine my own hours a bit better, and if I'm taking off significant amount of time in the near future, that's something that I'd be able, if I needed to do from the videos from the mod. Whereas with a new job, people are less good about that. So, as far as the mod goes, when we made the February release date for the demo, we didn't know this, obviously, so that might change a bit. We should still be on track for it, but just be forewarned, it might be in March. It shouldn't be, but it might be. As far as live streams, that's sort of why I haven't been able to do them recently. I think the internet should be good enough, so we should be able to get back to it soon enough. It's impossible to know when people are coming over, when we're going to be going to do stuff, and so it's easier for me to take the 30-40 minutes to record something as opposed to knowing I'm going to be able to set aside 3 hours in advance to be able to do stuff, because people will just pop in with a day of notice. But yeah, so that's essentially what's going on. If by the time I do get set up in an apartment and I know where I'm going to be living, if the channel is at a point where I am able to sustain myself just solely off of that, when I am paying for rent and all that stuff, then I might just continue doing this. If not, then I'll find a job. I'll obviously continue doing this regardless, but I mean as a full-time job. But we'll see where everything goes with that. So that, I think, is it. So thanks for watching, everyone. Oh, that's also why I've seemed annoyed in some of the videos more so than usual. I've tried to use recording sort of as a distraction anyways, but there's some stuff that has just annoyed me more than usual. If I haven't responded to comments as much, that's sort of what's going on there. But I am trying to get sort of through the backlog and address everything I can. Over here on this side, I'm going to try to get back into doing the modding tutorials. I'm going to try to get some of the modeling videos I talked about before. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do that, because it's kind of boring if I leave it as a full, if I just leave the full video, because that's hours and hours of modeling. I might just do sort of time-lapse videos. We've done that on the TR channel before, back when that was a thing. So I think that's what we're going to start with, and then I might adjust it based on how people feel about that. But yeah, so that should cover everything. So thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.